Good day, class. Today we are going to talk about peer pressure, something that most of the learners experience each and every day. So before we dive into today's topics, I would like to show you a short video from YouTube that is all about today's lesson.
At some point or another, you'll notice your children preferring the company of kids their own age as opposed to hanging out with you. There's no need to take it personally. Teenagers naturally gravitate away from their parents as they grow up. Seeking autonomy and independence is absolutely a normal part of adolescence. As this dynamic changes, your teenagers' peers will become one of the most important relationships they have. In fact, their friends will overtake you as their biggest source of social and emotional support. While this is a crucial transition, the attitudes, morals, and maturity of your teen's friends can have both a positive and negative influence on their development. What is peer pressure? In this circumstance, peer pressure refers to the influence that friends, peers, and classmates have on the way our teen thinks and acts. Peer pressure can come in many different forms. Sometimes their peers may proactively influence them to behave in certain ways. We call this direct peer pressure. This type of peer pressure is normally behavior-centric. It's spontaneous, and it puts your teen in a position of having to make an on-the-spot decision. Examples of direct peer pressure include when one teen offers another an alcoholic drink, or makes a sexual advance, or encourages someone to shoplift. Other times, our teen may just be following along due to an implied or indirect peer pressure. Indirect peer pressure is subtle and not always obvious, but can still exert a strong influence on a naive and impressionable youth. While direct pressure is targeted and deliberate, with indirect peer pressure, no one necessarily asks someone to do anything. It's the unspoken pressure and the desire to fit in that leads our teens to certain behaviors. Examples of indirect peer pressure can include when a teen overhears gossip about another person and then treats that person differently as a result. Alternatively, if your child begins experimenting with drugs and alcohol in order to be invited to house parties with the popular kids, this is another indirect way our teens can be influenced by their peers. Both of these forms are based on seeking approval, but it's also possible for peer pressure to be a result of bullying. Being teased or assaulted for not conforming is one of the darker forms of peer pressure. How can we teach our kids to...
Class, what did you notice in this video that I have shown you now? What do you think is this really happening? Okay. Another one. Yes, last answer. Okay. Yes, most of you are right, because you mentioned that friends were trying to pressure a teenager in order for him to into something he or she didn't want to do. This was a really good observation from you guys. Why do you think the main character found it really hard to say no to the peer pressure? Yes, maybe you wanted to fit in. They were bullying him. Yes, that's right. Exactly. That's what we call peer pressure. It happens when someone your age forces you to do something that you don't like. Sorry. Peer pressure can sometimes be positive and negative. In today's lesson, we'll explore about peer pressure and what to do in order to avoid the negative peer pressure. Thank you.